I'm Nigel.
And I'm Brad.
And together, we're on a quest to uncover the grassroots innovation that makes Australia a very clever nation.
Ingenious Oz is touring the Northern Territory, where remote locations and tough conditions bring out incredible creativity in all sorts of people. How long till the next toilet stop?
Mate, you should have gone before we left. You did this yesterday too. Today, we're headed to Alice Springs Desert Park Precinct at the foot of the McDonnell Ranges for a very special festival.
Now in its fourth year, Parrtjima is a celebration of Indigenous art from right across Central Australia and the Northern Territory.
It illustrates the stories and wisdom from an ancient culture in a very modern way. Intrigued? Hold on to your hat. Well, helmet.
Parrtjima is a festival of light, and it's really about how innovative and how much Aboriginal Australia consistently adapts their culture and their stories to fit with whatever technology is available. So if we go back and look in the old ways, our artwork and paintings in this region of the Central Western Desert regions, many sand paintings were done. They were the ceremonies that told story. They used wildflowers and would pulp them and place them on the sand, sing that up, and there would be the story. Then we saw a great art movement, and that has become known around the world as the Parrtjima movement. But many people think of it as dot paintings. And we saw the sand ceremonies get transferred onto canvas with acrylic paint. And here we are today in the 21st century, and we've taken the canvases and we're putting them into light and to all different types of structures so we can continue to tell those ancient stories, but make it relevant for the now. Parrtjima is about light, but it's also about understanding. And when you shine light, and particularly if you have an inner light, then you have an inner and deep knowledge.
How is it changing people?
Parrtjima is that opportunity for us to gather together and to get to know each other a little bit more with a bit of depth. For instance, this year we're featuring some of the artists from the Barkly region. Of course, that's very much around Tennant Creek. And too often you hear the stories of Tennant Creek, and sometimes they're not very good stories, and yet there's so much optimism and hope. And so one of the ladies, Susie Lane, her artwork is about the germination of native plants and seeds. And so if the winds don't blow, how do the seeds get spread for the next year's growth? And so when you look at her artwork and in her painting, she is telling the coming children, when they look at that artwork, of how to ensure germination occurs. Now, to me, that is science. There is an incredible pride. And when you bring pride, you bring confidence. And when you bring confidence, you bring empowerment. And when you bring art, one of the greatest economic benefits to the territory, particularly Indigenous arts, because it's so much more than dots, what you're bringing is economic independence. For the local mob, you know, lighting up country, there are lots of challenges. But when you look at the Rangers show, so much happens in the night sky. We're asleep, but that's when the spirits are there. That's when creation occurs. And so it's showing our innovation as First Peoples of Australia.
Do you think if we went back 1,000 years to the ancestors and this technology was available, would they still adopt it?
I think one thing about our culture, and I think it's why we're the oldest living adapting culture on the planet, is that the stories have to be told. So we will ensure those stories are told, whatever the environment is around us. One of the great stories that comes out of the desert region is, of course, the movement of art. And many people think of it as dot paintings, but they came from sand designs. And we have an installation called Grounded. And I just love that we've taken it from that. It's now in projection and we reflect it back onto the ground like the old ceremonies, and it just looks like this extraordinary carpet. But the most stunning thing about it is people walk on it, so they're actually touching artwork, they're seeing it, they're understanding the depth of it. But when children pick up the sand and they look and they're completely confused because the pattern hasn't changed, to me that says something that it never changes, but a child can pick it up and relate to it in the 21st century.